Right. So I said there would be a video coming. Going to be the knife challenge video, at least some feather sticking on it, possibly the notches, and maybe even some sharpening. Let's start with talking about sharpening. Start with talking about sharpening. Most often I carry the Brock Horseman's Companion, and typically on my sheath I carry a ceramic honing rod, and so that is my primary sharpening or blade maintenance tool. This is what I use most of the time. I have quite a few other options, but this is my primary piece. You guys have seen these before. This is the Smith's fine, coarse, and diamond file for doing like serrations. I've used this. It's not my favorite thing, but I've used it. I also have, and I use occasionally, the Lansky system. So this mounts to a table or a workbench or whatever, and then I use this system, the various stones rated from coarse to fine, and then the brown is a leather strop, and I do that. I use that probably the most between a standard whetstone or an oil stone or this or this. If I've got something that's really in bad condition, this is what I go to sharpen it. And I like this. But I just try and keep my blades maintained ongoing so that I'm not having to take a bunch of metal off by doing heavy gauge sharpening regularly. Now in the field, like I said, most of the time this is the knife that I carry, so the ceramic rod is my most common maintenance tool. But if I'm going on a longer trip, this was the bag that was in the picture when I said that video may be in the works, and this is my field tool maintenance kit. And so it's not just knife sharpening, but in there is my knife sharpening stuff. And so the tool that I carry with me is the coarse and fine leather strop ceramic rod, and then for doing serrations, the small ceramic rod. And this ceramic rod is adjustable, so it's got where you can do like a fish hook there, and then it's got the coarse section of the ceramic rod as well. I really like the Work Sharp pocket tool. Has the leather strap on the bottom, so I carry this in my bigger pack. So if I have to do anything major in the field, this is the tool that I do that with. But again, by and large, I try to stick with the ceramic rod that's in my sheath. I also carry with me sheep's tallow, and that is something I use to coat my blade. I can use it to coat leather, keep it waterproofed. And then at home, again, I tend to use the ceramic rod and then a leather strop. So coarse and fine leather strop, and I use sharpening compound, typically like a jeweler's rouge or one of the other blade sharpening compounds. And then this is when I'm just trying to keep the fine edge on it, finish it up. This is diamond paste that I use, and that's kind of my finishing level compound. So that's what I've got here tonight. I'm not going to do a whole lot because my blades are pretty well sharpened, but I will show you how I use the ceramic rod on my companion. So as with sharpening anything, and when you have a double bevel edge, you want to do the same thing to both sides. So I just one, and I just go both sides, one after the other. If I know that I need to do a decent amount, I'll sometimes do like in sets of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you see how I try and finish my stroke about a quarter to a half inch up the rod, and I'm watching to make sure that I don't cut my finger. If anything happens, the tip is hitting the base of my handle, my finger is held down, and I try to finish my stroke up high. Again, like quarter to half inch away from the base. I don't want to cut myself. I try to stay safe with that. A lot of people go away from them, and that's fine. I have a harder time doing that with it underneath, so I just hold it and I go down each side. That works for me. So that's using the ceramic rod, and then the strop, I go backwards. So away from myself. Again, same. Whatever I do to one side, I'm doing to the other. Okay. And safety is, I always want to make sure that I don't have anything within my danger circle or my cut range. And so I want to be able to hold my knife out, and anywhere that I can reach, I don't want anything in that above me. Okay. And when I'm cutting, I want to cut away from me. If I'm cutting towards myself for any reason, if I'm doing like some fine work, I'm trying to cut towards myself, I want to make sure that whatever I'm working on is anchored and I'm in full control and I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. Right? I don't want distractions or disturbances around me. Safety is always the first priority, and I typically don't do this stuff inside the house. I usually will go out to the garage or on the back patio where I'm by myself and I'm not got anybody around, because I don't want anybody to get hurt. There's nobody in the room with me tonight, so that's what I'm doing in here. So that's my maintenance, sharpening, and just taking care of, in general, my blade. I'm going to go ahead and put the blade away for right now, because I don't want to just leave it sitting out. And again, I almost always carry this blade, and so when I've got this with me, I've got the ceramic hone with me, and that's my primary everyday carry. If I'm carrying something more than a Leatherman micro tool or a Leatherman pocket tool or just a pocket knife, this is the knife that I carry. If I'm carrying any kind of a fixed blade, it's almost always this. For the sake of doing feathers, I posted some pictures earlier using each of my custom blades. For the video, I'm going to use my Brock for, again, the sake of video. This is some of the stuff I've done before. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to do the Horseman, make some feathers for you, just to show you so you can see it happen. Okay. And I'm just doing it over a trash can. I've been doing this off and on this evening. So a couple of people have mentioned when they're doing feathers, they like to use the front quarter of the blade. I'm the same. I prefer to use the front quarter to a third, especially when I'm using a heavier blade. I like to, the length, I like to go ahead and just use that portion of the blade to do my feathering. I have a lot of control there. I get nice, fine curls, and a lot of that is fantastic. I don't have a problem using further down, using in the belling of the blade. It works just fine. And again, I'm not digging in. I'm getting just enough of an angle that there's a little bit of a bite in the wood, and I'm just sliding it down. I'm not trying to push in. I don't want to bite deep. I'm not trying to take a chunk out. I just want to glide across the top layer of wood to create those curls. You see that? And again, the front corner, front quarter, front third. Just really fine. Get in there. deeper with the belly. And again, it depends on what I'm trying to do. If I'm just trying to create a quick feather stick, a couple of feather sticks to catch fire so I can get, you know, a fire going, don't need to be real detailed. So, there you go. And then I've got another one I'm going to use to do some notching. So I'm going to do I'm just kind of biting in here, getting the square end of it. Okay. And now I'm going to go against and push down at an angle towards that square stop cut. This is going to be a 7 or an L notch. So there you go. I'll do a U notch. So again, just get in there. I'm just going to start it out. Dig in. Don't need a whole lot. I'm not trying to get a nice sharp. I'm not trying to get a sharp angle. I'm just trying to dig in and create a light curve. And I'll take just a little out each time. There you go. So there's the U notch or the curve notch. And that's for, again, nesting two pieces of wood together. Sharp edge there. Don't want that. There we go. All right. Put this away for a minute so I can just show. So again, here's the 7. That can be used as a pot hanger. Can be used as a trigger. Okay. And then the U notch, again, for seating two sticks together, and then you can lash them, making pack frames. The third notch I'm going to do is going to be a square notch. This side down just a little bit more. So I'm going to put my knife away. And I'll just show you again. All right, so we have the U notch, we have the 7 notch, and then we have the square notch. Feather stick, talked about safety, we talked about stropping, and we talked about ceramic hone. So that is my entry for the knife. Let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, anything about any of the tools or the knives, whatever. And we'll see you on the next one.